Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman on MidweekPolitics.com.
Hey, welcome back to Midweek Politics. David Pakman here. Joining us on the phone is Peter LaBarbera, president of Americans for Truth about homosexuality. Hey, Peter.
Hey, David.
Hey, so tell me, what's the one-liner about, how would you describe your organization? What do you do?
We're a single-issue organization that's on the other side of the debate over homosexuality in the culture.
Which is the other side? Remind me.
The other side is the massive gay rights movement, which most Americans are probably vastly exposed to. We're on the pro-family side. We oppose, for example, gay marriage, and we oppose the idea that homosexuality is the basis for civil rights.
So tell me about, what's the truth about, maybe you alluded to it there, what is the truth about homosexuality that people just don't seem to know, or at least people not part of your group?
Well, we would claim that the truth is that homosexuality is about behavior, that it's not an inborn identity. I've met, in my experience working on this issue for 20 years, probably 50 former homosexuals, people who once considered themselves gay and have left the lifestyle. So it's about changeable behavior, which we believe is immoral.
And do people need therapy to change the behavior? Do they just need to say, is it a religious thing? Do they need to find Jesus?
I don't think there's a way into homosexuality, one way in. I don't think there's one way out. Some people do have therapy, and it's interesting that the gay activist movement is sort of trying to shut down the idea of therapy to get out. But there's other people I've talked to, for example, a lot of committed Christians who basically left homosexuality on the basis of their religious beliefs. They have a newfound faith in God, and that's how they got out without therapy.
Now, I think you did mention this, but of course your organization is pro-family, right?
Absolutely.
Of course. Okay. So why are you boycotting McDonald's now?
Well, we're boycotting McDonald's. This is sort of a lonely fight, I think, because we're not a large organization. But McDonald's has just begun running an ad in France, which is sort of an affirmative ad of youth homosexuality. In other words, it's an ad about a teenage boy who sort of has a boyfriend in his all-boys school.
I've seen it.
And the message is, come as you are. In other words, being gay as a teenage boy, having a romantic relationship with another boy is a good thing, and we're going to encourage it at McDonald's. And we believe that that's a bad message for young people, especially given what I said before, that homosexuality is not something that you basically are. It's more of a behavior.
Now, hold on a second. I think we saw the same ad. I don't know that it sounds a little odd to me to say that the ad is promoting that being homosexual and in a relationship is a good thing. I thought what it was saying was just that if you are homosexual, McDonald's is not going to discriminate against you, and you are as welcome here as anybody else.
Right. Well, that's two ways to look at it, David, and we might have to agree to disagree on that one. Our position is that homosexual behavior is aberrant behavior. And so when you do a whole commercial, which is basically affirming youth homosexuality, which still remains controversial. I don't know if it's controversial in France, but it's controversial here in the United States. We're saying that's not a good thing for a large corporation to affirm.
So is it, in the U.S., in your opinion, is it more controversial to be gay and under 18 than gay and over 18?
Well, I can see we're probably on opposite sides of this issue, David, but what I can tell you is many people simply do not like the idea of affirming homosexuality especially as some sort of rigid, inborn characteristic, who you are, to young people. And in fact, what's happening in a lot of schools is schools will get pro-gay affirmation, but they'll never hear the other side of the issue.
I didn't know there was another side.
Well, I thought I just gave you one, which is, for example, that people can leave the lifestyle. Now, you'll have a lot of gay activists like Wayne Besson who will say, oh, you cannot do. Those people were never gay, blah, blah, blah. What I'm saying is, if you have to take at face value the idea that somebody says they're gay, that's how they define themselves, then how can you discriminate against people who said, I once was gay, but I'm not gay any longer?
Hey, let me ask you this. How old, in your experience, are people usually when they decide to start being gay?
I don't know. I don't have the answer of how old they are. What I can tell you is there are surveys which show that the age when people are coming out as gay, as openly homosexual, has gone down significantly. I think the average age now is somewhere, in the young teens or younger, perhaps.
Right, let me
finish.
Please.
It used to be that people would come out like in college or later, and I think part of the reason that's happening is that there is this ubiquitous propaganda more on one side of the issue than on the other.
Well, I'll tell you, Pete, you couldn't be more wrong. The reason people are coming out earlier is because why would they wait until after high school? Because their parents would have killed them if they had found out about it, because it was just not something that was, they did not feel comfortable. And now as we learn more and more that it's okay to be gay and it's not evil, you're not going to hell, kids are more comfortable coming out earlier.
That's your opinion, David.
It is, no, of course, and we've heard yours. And we've heard yours.
I hope you would agree but I hope you would agree, in the interest of balance and impartiality, which our public schools are supposed to be, I hope that the kids would also learn that, hey, just as there are people who are proudly gay, there are also people who are proudly out of that lifestyle. The problem is that a lot of the institutions have sort of bought your propaganda, and they're only teaching one side. Right. And I think in the interest of diversity, which your side probably talks a lot more of than my side, in the interest of diversity, they ought to give the other side of the question.
Well, I was doing a little research. It seems, Peter, like your organization is considered so crazy that even the anti-gay movement sometimes thinks you're too extreme. I mean, the example of the election in Maine, where you and your friend Mike Heath were basically shut out of the process by the National Organization for Marriage People. It's amazing,
David,
is it not?
Two things on that, David. One is your producer should have told me how strongly your pro-gay views were. But that aside, listen, we're in a debate here, and I think it's interesting that the people who are doing the censoring in this debate are not the pro-family side, it's the pro-gay side. You have groups like GLAAD, the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, which is absolutely desperate to make sure that no ex-gays appear on shows like, on CNN and other programs. It's not the pro-gay, it's not the side, my side, the pro-family side, which is censoring. It's your side. And my question is, what are you afraid of?
I have no idea. I'll be honest. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, you're not censoring. At least you're having me on, although I wish your producer would have told me how strongly you felt on the issue.
I don't know what you're. I'll be honest. I don't know what. I'm not censoring anything. I'm not interrupting you. You're allowed to say your piece.
No, I agree. You're not censoring, but there is a lot of censorship on the pro-gay side these days.
Gotcha. Midweek Politics is made possible in part by CSR Wire, the corporate social responsibility newswire at csrwire.com, by DIF Design, specializing in custom business websites at difdesign.com. To find out more about underwriting Midweek Politics, visit midweekpolitics.com.